Now what's up again there guys, Brian here at 3 here to bring you another awesome movie review. This time I'm giving you my initial thoughts on the follow-up to the really, I guess you could say, sleeper hit John Wick, simply titled John Wick Chapter 2. Now I've kind of given up on trying to say the director's name, but I think he does a pretty damn good job in this film, and it brings Keanu Reeves back, and really the plot of this film really continues right where the first movie takes off. After John Wick has finished, you know, getting revenge for the people killing his dog and stealing his car, he retrieves his car and decides that, you know what, now that I've pretty much gotten my vengeance, I'm going to retire and hopefully, you know, just live in peace. However, that doesn't quite play out that way, and let's say an old friend from the past kind of comes back and he says, you know, I need you to do this favor for me because, you know, I did something for you. And John Wick is kind of forced back into the line of assassination, and after a certain event takes place, he then becomes a serious target for a very powerful organization, and it's really from that point on that John Wick is trying to get vengeance once again from being screwed over once again. Now, I'm just going to say right now, John Wick Chapter 2 is by far going to be one of the best action films of all year. It's kind of amazing that this is a February movie. I mean, the year just started and this is already solidified as probably one of the best films of the year by far. Everything you liked about the first film is continued on here. The cinematography is outstanding. The action choreography is phenomenal. Keanu Reeves is such a great action superstar. He really puts so much effort into his action scenes that it, in my opinion, kind of puts him on the pedestal of action stars, because you know that he really put a lot of work into these action scenes and doesn't like to have a stunt double do all these scenes for him. And at least for me, that makes me give him just that much more respect. I thought that the acting, for the most part, for a number of the primary characters was pretty standard. No one really has an overarching standout performance or really steals the show, outside of Lawrence Fishburne, who really has kind of a small cameo, but he pretty much eats up every scene that he's in. Two surprising characters that I thought did really good in their scenes was Common and Ruby Rose, who play kind of like side characters. Like one's a bodyguard and one's kind of like another assassin that kind of does what John Wick does, but it's kind of more of a bodyguard. They do really great in their scenes, as not just in terms of acting, but in terms of their own action scenes. And the choice of locations is also handled very well, which is surprising because a lot of movies have this tendency to kind of want to take it to, you know, when you do sequels, they want to just expand the world and they want to go to all these different exotic locations, and they're not really used very well. But in John Wick Chapter 2, they're handled very well, and they actually have purpose. Another thing this movie also takes to the next level is that it actually spends a solid amount of time actually establishing and expanding upon the world that the John Wick story is taking in. You really get to see how the inner workings of this network of assassination across the world actually works. You get to see just how it works and how bounties are made, and how contracts are dealt with, and how certain sanctuaries are supposed to be safe. I like how they actually went more into detail with the politics of how this whole network works, about actually slowing down the pace. And I also enjoyed that despite how badass John Wick is because of his reputation, at no point do you feel that he's completely invincible. I mean, yes, in his action scenes he's kind of mowing through guys left and right, and he, you know, he's definitely getting injured, but at a certain point, I would say at the half-point marker, he still feels vulnerable. You see that several times he's having difficulty. I mean, he certainly takes his fair share of ass-kicked moment throughout the entire film and a number of key fight scenes, and he can get hurt, he can get injured, he needs help. He's at one point very panicky because he realizes that he's kind of put himself in a really bad situation and he's screwed, and now he kind of needs to just come up with a plan just off the top of his head. And I like that vulnerability about him. I don't really like it when action heroes are so invincible for the entire film that you never feel that they're in danger. But with John Wick, even as badass as he is a very vulnerable character, and because of that you very much care for him. And it absolutely does kind of, in a sense, kind of leave it open for a sequel, which I really hope they do. If there's any major flaw that I could say John Wick has, is though the action scenes are masterfully choreographed and they're badass to look, at no point do I ever feel that they ever escalated. It kind of felt like it was on the same level. There are really two main action scenes, one that takes place in a set of tunnels and one that takes place in a museum. And they kind of feel somewhat similar. I mean, he's performing all the same takedowns, all the same kills in very similar ways. but at no point did you feel like one was ever better than the other. They kind of felt kind of mellowing out each other. And because of that, despite the fact that one takes place really near the beginning of the film and one takes place at the end, you never once felt like the action scenes ever built upon each other, and it kind of stayed at a very, very stagnant level. And that is kind of a negative, because as your action scenes move out throughout the film, then the escalation and the suspense of them should increase, and I don't think this film really did that. However, that doesn't stop this from being a very, very, very entertaining film. If you really enjoyed the first John Wick movie, you're going to absolutely love this film. I really hope they do a third film. Keanu Reeves does an amazing job. And if I had to give John Wick Chapter 2 a rating, I'm going to give it an A-. Definitely check this out if you can. It's certainly one of the best action films of 2017, and I would certainly recommend seeing it multiple times and owning it on Blu-ray when it comes out. If you like my movie review, feel free to like, comment down below, and please recommend for future movie reviews. And like always, thank you guys for watching. You're awesome, man. I'll see you next time.